Hello viewers, I'm SB and this is Griftlands. This is the new thing from Klei Interactive, or it's an early alpha version of the new thing from Klei. The release date for this game is still like 18 months away, I think, so it's very early and there's not a ton of content yet, but what there is in here is so cool that I really wanted to make sure I caught at least one run of this on video. So it's a roguelike sort of deck builder, and when I say roguelike deck builder, probably you're thinking Slay the Spire. It definitely has more than a passing similarity to Slay the Spire in some of its mechanics, but there's a whole lot of other stuff going on like on top of that layer that I think is really interesting. So let me show you what I mean. We're going to start a new run here. So I've completed a couple of runs. We're going to be playing on a little bit above the base difficulty, and it seemed like when I won my first run, it abbreviated a bunch of the story sequences for future runs, so you're not going to get like the full depth and breadth of the game's writing, but it'll be enough for you to follow. You'll be able to get a taste. You can see when they finish the game, they intend to launch it with 3 campaigns. Right now, there's only most of the first campaign in the game, but it's enough for you to see the mechanics, enough to sink your teeth into.
You've pictured your revenge so many times, but what if she gets you first? What if someone else does? But you scratch those thoughts out like lines on the paper. You're here for Cascio. That's the only way this story ends.
That's weirdly quiet relative to the rest of the game volume. Fish welcomes you, and it's back to the hunt for another day. This is one of my favorite things in the game. It's silly for me to be as amused by this as I am, but she's a fish woman who's missing an eye, so her name is Fish. It's just very funny to me. Anyway, you look like you got plans to take on the biggest crime lord in the bay, no matter what I might say to stop you. Just promise me you won't do it without help. So at the beginning of each run, Fish gives us a choice of 3 boons here. You can take a coin purse, which gives us 50 of just the currency of the game, and you can see it does this this very nice Pyre-style text mouse over thing. Very useful for someone like me who frequently forgets all of the made-up fantasy nouns. We could get an Amnesia Gator. The next card is played twice, then destroy it and destroy this. That's pretty cool, actually. Or we could get some rugged compression gear, which will increase our health and our resolve. There are 2 kinds of conflicts in the game: battle, in which you use your battle deck, and negotiation, in which you use your negotiation deck. Health is your battle HP, and resolve is your negotiation HP. This would just increase the max size of both of our health pools. I'm not wild about this. I think we're going to take the Amnesia Gator. This will actually let us pull a card out of our deck really early in the game, and if you've played any of these types of card games very much, you know the value of getting the junk out of your deck. It was a fine choice, thank you. Okay, so we could ask Fish about some world-building stuff, and I do think that the world they've created here is pretty interesting, but we're going to be very mechanics-focused here in this video. Let's just get to our first quest. I got people in my pocket who owe me a favor. Kuga, Perry, and Koki. They're easy people to find. Tell them I sent you, and they can settle their tabs by giving you work. Get that done, and I'll get you a plate of popped Oshnu eyes on the house. Oh, great! An Oshnu is a domesticated giant snail. Of course, if you were going to eat anything's popped eyes, why wouldn't it be a snail? Ugh, man, the phrase popped eyes is really making me feel uncomfortable in my gullet. Bless your warty hide, Fish. I'll hold you to that, for some reason. Maybe they taste really good? They would have to taste really good. Alright, so Fish has given us a choice of 3 quests here. We could go do some private security. Koki has heard that bandits are coming to rob his store and is looking for help defending his property. We'd get a card at the beginning of the quest to help us complete it, and also 85 shills. That's fine. It's an okay amount of money. Perry is looking for a business partner amongst the spree. We'd get to upgrade a card if we do this one. That's definitely a more compelling reward. Or if we help Kuga find the thief who stole from her, we could get some shills and a hip flask. So you'll notice there's a number of cards that represent like items and equipment that are only functional a couple of times, like we destroy the hip flask the 3rd time we use it. In general, I think these cards are not amazing, but there's very little cost to picking them up, but I definitely want to take the upgrade here. So we'll talk about the cards and stuff in a little more detail when we start using them. We just had a random encounter while we were traveling. You come across the remains of an unfortunate traveler. Whatever attacked him was more concerned with feeding than with robbing. There's loot strewn about. Well, I love loot. Yes, of course, gather up the loot. It was 69 shells. I guess that's fine. Just as you're about to leave, something comes rushing out of the brush. We're being attacked by a rock. By a pair of rocks. Okay. That's fine. We'll get to see the battle interface. So you can see here we have 3 actions with which to play our cards. At the top left of a card, you have the action cost. Then over here, you have the amount of damage it inflicts. Most cards deal damage in a range like this. And then in the middle of the card, below the name, you have its experience meter. Every time you play a card, it gains a pip of experience, and when the bar fills up all the way, the card gets upgraded to something better. So that's definitely something we have to think about while we're taking actions here. What do these guys have? At the start of the battle, gain 1 evasion. Evasion just makes him not take the next hit. Okay, perfectly reasonable. And we're going to take a lot of damage from them, and also they're going to apply a negative status effect. Well, we're definitely going to start by removing the evasion, right? Does this go away naturally? Remove 1 evasion whenever you are attacked and at the end of your turn. So it would. But, I mean, there's no reason for us not to attack. Here, we'll throw 2 stabs at this guy, burn his evasion charge, and then get a little bit of damage in. And then I'm going to apply 4 defense to us to just straight up negate 4 damage. It might look like we have a lot of health relative to the amount of damage that our enemies are dealing, but you don't replenish health until the end of the game day, at least not naturally. We could find items and stuff that would do it. But basically, this amount of health has to get you through the whole day, and that can sometimes be a little tight. That can be a tough budget. Alright, so we've spent our 3 actions. Let's just end our turn. At the end of your turn, you discard all your cards, and then at the beginning of the new turn, you draw 5. If your deck runs out, the discard pile just gets reshuffled and is the new deck. Okay, wow, a lot more damage here. So they put a wound on us. Attacks inflict 1 bonus damage on this target. That's crummy, given the number of attacks they're throwing out here. So I really think it behooves us to get rid of one of these things as quickly as possible. Maybe I screwed up last turn by fainting. Maybe we should have just like really poured on the damage. But let's fight dirty. So we're going to improvise a card from a pool of special cards. Basically, there's like 8 or so cards that are associated with Fight Dirty. When you play it, the game randomly selects 3 of them to show you. You pick 1 to put in your hand. So we could gain 3 defense, do some damage, and apply 2 bleed, or draw 2 cards. Like I said, I think maybe we should just be focusing real hard here on damage. So at the beginning of this thing's turn, it'll take damage equal to its number of bleed stacks, and then the bleed count gets cut in half. Let's also play Sal's Daggers, which will give us a choice between Hammer Grip or Saber Grip. Let's just keep running on the bleed thing. Combo points don't do anything by themselves, but we will eventually find cards that allow us to expend combo points to do stuff. Unfortunately, combo goes away at the end of your turn, so you have to already have the cash-in card before it makes any sense to use them. And you can see cards with the expend thing are removed from our deck for the rest of the battle after we play them. So we're creating a lot of cards here, but we're not going to end up with all of them clogging up our draws. They're going to go out here to the trash pile. Alright, let's just keep laying it on, like I said. So you'll notice part of its health bar is white. If we get its health down to that level, it will panic and run away. We are taking a huge amount of damage here. So he has to take 2 more damage. He's actually already done then. So we can stop paying so much attention to this guy. He's doing most of that damage, so actually at this point a feint will protect us from everything. And then we just lay it on this guy, right? Play daggers, get ourselves some more bleed for him, and play a stab. Okay, so he panics and runs off. We don't take any actual damage, but the wound is starting to stack up pretty harsh here. Alright, let's definitely play Fight Dirty. I do love to fight dirty. We did not get a good draw this time, though. We don't have any use for the combo points, so like 1 to 2 damage is pretty poor. We could play this to gain a power, which gives you a damage bonus for the rest of the encounter. But this has an action cost in addition to the 1 action we played to pull these cards. And it would not allow us to get a lot of damage done. Like, we're late enough in the battle that I don't think this is very good anymore. And then draw, discard is just kind of crummy. Yeah, this is just a really bad pull. Well, I'm going to take this. I think we could definitely afford to discard a feint. Let's the question is, do we double feint here and just take very little damage? We can't... He has to take 7 damage to be out. He's going to take 1 from the bleed. We could totally get there, actually. As long as the stab does more than minimum damage. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. It's good to actually do the math. So for winning a battle, we get a new battle card. Bedlam, that's a lot of damage for one action. But you have to discard a card and it attacks a random target. Still, that seems quite good. Barnacle, apply 2 bleed, then gain defense equal to the target's bleed. That's interesting. It's a little expensive, in my opinion. It's really hard to justify paying more than one action for something. Or Spare Blades. This card is unplayable, but if it gets discarded, insert a Blade Flash into your hand. So when a card says if this is discarded, it does not mean the fact that you discard your hand at the end of the turn would not trigger this. You have to find another way to get it discarded, like playing a Bedlam. Honestly, I think we're going to take the Bedlam. It's a lot of damage, right? And you can almost always afford to discard a card. You draw more cards than you can use every single turn. You leave before more monsters can arrive. Was the amount of shills we got there worth 20 of our health? Probably not, honestly. Alright, we're on our way to this thing, right? Yeah. I think. Alright, Perry, what's up? So you can see each location is populated by characters. This is a little bit procedurally done. The characters are preset, like I've seen Leisha in other games, and Leisha is always a shopkeeper, but Leisha is not always the keeper at this particular shop. And there is a little bit of relationship stuff between the characters that is procedurally generated as well. People have different friends and enemies from game to game. Alright, so this is a shop. We could stop in and see what Leisha's selling. It's unclear whether Leisha's easygoing attitude is a result of her temperament or the fumes radiating off of her wares. No, didn't think my day would involve a grifter dealing. Grifter is just a name for anybody who's not really aligned with a faction. Alright, what do you got here? Speed Tonic. That's okay, that's a fine card. I don't think it's worth paying for. Add 2 copies of Hasten to your draw pile, which causes you to gain 2 actions. Wow, that's powerful. Costs 2 actions to play this, though, which is kind of a bummer. Or Healing Vapors. It's just, yeah, it's just healing. It's vapors that heal you. Who would have thought? I think we'll just save our money for the moment. Alright, Perry, what's up? Perry is rumored to be engaged in criminal activity on the side. Regardless of if it's true, you'd hate to be the one who started the rumor. The human looks you up and down, looks you up and down in suspicion. I was reading that correctly. Human, a soft-skinned species. Yeah, alright, that's fair. Hey, you want to make some money? I've got a great opportunity, but there's a hitch. I need a partner in the spree to pull it off. So the spree is sort of like a loose union. All of the bandits and stuff in the area got together and decided they'd all play nice with each other. And I'm pretty sure you're supposed to arrest the spree, not work with them. Exactly. I need some insulation from blowback if I'm going to make this work. So how about you be my proxy? Go talk to Lux and convince her this is a good deal she shouldn't refuse. Okay, I think this is within our skill set. We could do this. So we get a card at the beginning of the thing here. Okay, so here we have one of the cards that lets you cash in your combo for something. You know, I've not actually played a run where I focused on trying to make combo points work. That might be a fun thing to do here. Let's take the Haymaker. So we know what he plans to pay us already, but we could negotiate for a better deal. Here's the thing. In the early game, you really could use a little bit more money. Let's see what we could do. So here's our negotiate interface, is the other type of encounter. We have our core argument here with our resolve health on it. If our resolve reaches 0, we lose the negotiation. If you lose a combat, you die and the run ends. If you lose a negotiation, it's nowhere near as bad. It's just sort of an embarrassing waste of resources. He has his core argument here. We deplete this in order to not lose, but just depleting this isn't going to get us extra money. We have to target these other ideas that are out here on his argument line. So if we finish this one off, we'll get an extra 78 shills added to our pay. But every turn that this thing sits out on the table, its value goes down. So we got to be quick if we want to get all this money. Then you can see on here, his inner argument line shows us what he plans to do on his turn. So he's going to do 4 damage to us, and he's also going to play some other kind of argument of his own. And he has the abuse of power personality. At the start of his turn, he's going to incept a planted evidence argument over onto our line. We'll worry about that when it happens. So what do we have here? We have an improvise. Let's improvise ourselves a card. Let's see what we can find. So carryover is interesting. Allows us to shift that action that we just spent over to next turn. Or we could draw 2 cards, which I'm not like wild about. Or we could give him 2 vulnerability, which increases the amount of damage he takes by 1. I think this is the right move. So as long as he has any number of stacks of vulnerability, he takes 1 point of bonus damage. It's not 1 point per stack, but the number of stacks determines the duration of the effect. And now that he's taking a little bit of bonus damage from everything, let's just try to burn this down quickly. We can't get it down this turn, but we'll get close. So let's throw out a threaten. Ooh, that was nice. And then, do we want to fast talk it, or do I want to deflect to get myself some shielding so as not to take so much damage? I think let's just try to get rid of this. Wow, we rolled max damage on both of those. That was nice. Alright, so he's planted some evidence on us. He's made his argument. When this is dismissed, deal 2 damage to the owner's core argument. That's us. And then this thing is just doing 2 to 4 damage per turn. That's very annoying, actually. Okay, we got our Amnesia Gator. So it's going to let us double up on something. We could probably get quite a lot of damage out of doubling up the threaten. And if we're going to do that, we should definitely play Sal's Instincts first. So this will let us grab Inspiration or Attitude. We're going to grab Attitude. So Inspiration does 2 damage and gives you Influence, which increases the damage of your green cards, while this one gives you 2 Dominance, which increases the damage of your red cards. So we'll play this. Get our 2 Dominance. Each stack of this increases the damage of red cards by 1 point. Then we're going to play an Amnesia Gator, followed by a Threaten. It is a little bit of a shame because the Threaten's going to have the same target both times. So I would like to target this with one of them and this with the other. Any overflow damage goes back to the core arguments. Like if we play this and it rolls a 4 against this thing, it'll do 1 damage here and then 3 damage to him. This might be enough damage to just get us this thing and also finish the encounter. Kind of hoping for that. Oh no, the second one was not targeted at the same thing. It looked like it was random. Well, that's kind of cool in that he's now offering to pay us a ton of extra money, and kind of a bummer in that we're going to take a huge amount of damage here. I didn't get this far without taking my cut, he says. He's played a frisk argument. He's going to steal money from us every turn. Okay, well, the good news is we can definitely just finish the encounter, and he's about to do a huge amount of damage to us, so I think we'd better. Okay, we win, sort of. Get a negotiation card. Double your influence, and then at the end of the turn, set your influence to 1. So influence causes all of your green cards to just deal maximum damage rather than rolling in their damage range. This card seems fine, not great. Gain 3 influence, but also 2 vulnerability. That's dangerous. Or a card that does 2 to 3 damage, and if you spend 2 influence when you play it, you get 4 bonus damage. Yeah, I think this is the best of these options. I don't think any of these are great. You do always have the option to just not take a card and get 10 shills. The 10 shills is like absolutely nothing. That's not why you pick this. You pick this so that you don't have to put garbage cards into your deck. But I think the intrigue is good enough to make the cut. Alright, we more than doubled our pay. At the cost of 13 resolve, which is maybe not totally worth it. Oh well. Somehow we shall persevere. So let's go talk to Lux. Alright, there's a lot of people in here. A lot of them just kind of getting their drink on. We might be about to have a negotiation with Lux, so I'm considering like maybe buying around here. If people in an area like you, they'll be more apt to come to your aid if you have trouble. I think we might want to get on somebody's good side. Unfortunately, I don't know these people very well, so I don't know if any of them have particularly useful bonuses as a friend. Let's talk to Topo. Topo looks mean. Nobody in Havaria has ever heard of a smuggler with a heart of gold, and nobody in Havaria has ever heard of Topo. It's unlikely the two are related. Topo nods in acknowledgement of your presence. Well, it's a start. So, we could just pay Topo to help us in this encounter, or we could share a drink with Topo. Getting a drink has some benefits. It'll restore a little bit of our resolve, although it will make us a little tipsy. But buying a drink for Topo while we're doing it will give us a little bit of favor here, which I think is probably a good idea. So Topo greedily accepts. Topo likes you now, and you gain cards Slurred Speech and Tipsy. So these are basically just garbage cards, clog up your draws, and you can play them to permanently remove them from your deck. I think it was worth the effort. Okay, there's the... I was going to say, am I misremembering that drinking restores your resolve? But no, that worked. Okay, so there's 5 levels of sort of relationship you can have with everybody. Most people are neutral toward you at the start, and then from there they can like you and then love you, or dislike you and then hate you. Once you have somebody up to the level of like, you can give them a little gift to get them to love you, and for every person that loves you, you get some kind of social boon, and it's different for every character. A 10 shield discount from shopkeepers is pretty cool. I don't know if it's worth 150 shills, but in any case, we can't do it. Alright, let's have a chat with Lux now. The only thing more menacing than Lux's reputation is her laugh. Bold face on this one. You want something? Yeah, so you can see Topo's gonna chip in a little bit because she likes us now. I've been sent to recruit you for an enticing venture. It's secretive but profitable. Don't be cute, Hunter. What's the job? Alright, I'll give it to you straight. Okay, so Topo kicked in 2 stacks of Flustered, which reduces the damage dealt by Lux by 33%. That's actually pretty cool. That's a useful little bit of help. So we have this Slurred Speech in our hand. I would really love to get rid of it. I think we might even. Oh, and good news, Lux is a little bit drunk. When dismissed, remove a random intent from Lux. So these things dealing damage, these are intents. I think what I'm actually going to do here is just deflect so that we don't take any damage, and take this relatively low stress opportunity to burn the Slurred Speech. It's not ideal, but I want that card out of our deck. Okay, so you have 3 damage and another argument coming. Well, let's start with some quick thinking. 0 to 4 damage. Obviously, this card's pretty good if you have some influence out. Deploy a bait argument or pass a damage over to next, or pass an action over to next turn. I think we wanna actually do some damage here. I'm gonna take the observation. We're gonna try to get lucky with this. So let's try to blow this thing up. Oh, that was lucky. Okay, we got rid of the damage. And then we just go to the dome. Oh wait, we should play the fast talk that already has more experience on it, because I would love to get one of these leveled up. Okay, not bad rolls on the damage there. What have you played? Increases count when a red card is played. Adds +1 damage to all intents. Oh, that's annoying. I would like to get rid of that. Well, let's start by quick thinking. Probably don't want to take the red card. Let's roll observation here and try to get lucky again. So I think we do just want to go straight damage. Honestly, we could ignore that thing and just play straight to her face. Let's do that. Okay, 2 damage, not bad. Alright, she's only going to be able to stand up to a couple more turns of that. But she's starting to get serious. Well, the good news is we pulled Instincts. So let's take Inspiration. Do 2 damage, get ourselves some Resolve. Or some Influence, rather. And then we can play Fast Talk for maximum damage. And Intrigue for all of the bonus damage here. That went pretty well. We didn't take too much. Okay, set up, gain 2 influence. At the end of your turn, lose 2 influence. That's interesting. Gain 3 influence and 2 vulnerability, or when this card is drawn, deal 1 damage to a random target and gain 1 influence. When the card is drawn, and then it can't be played. That's a weird card. I don't really love any of these, to be perfectly honest with you. Setup's okay, I guess. I'm definitely nervous about playing level playing field. Sometimes enemies deal a lot of damage to you. The solid point is, it's cool, but I can't really figure out how you would make this great. Maybe that's a good enough reason to take it. Getting a little bit of influence for free is pretty cool. I'm going to take solid point. Let's see if we can make something out of this. So you can see now why the officer wants to keep it quiet. Sounds like Perry has more to lose than I do if this goes south. You go tell Perry that I want to meet. Discreetly, of course. That's not the right... Okay, never mind. If he doesn't like that, well, too bad. He can find another stooge. He won't like it, but I'll pass it on. That was probably good enough, right? It's probably good enough to get us paid. You've returned. So the good news is that Lux is very interested. She just wants a meeting to make it official. What? I hired you so I wouldn't have to meet her. But it is what it is, I guess. Let's go. Your job was to be my proxy, so I'll keep you proximate. I knew you'd say that. You want to get paid, don't you? Let's go. I do want to get paid, he's right. I do have feelings about the getting paid. Take Perry to the ambush site and protect them during the meeting with Lux. Well, it is called the ambush site, so I have some idea what's going to happen here. You enter the meeting site. Perry looks around nervously, jumping at every shadow. So this is the place, huh? Where's Lux? The unnatural silence is your only warning of the ambush. There's the switch. Get him. Ah, Hesh. I knew it. Hesh is... The cult of Hesh is the major religion in the area. I think Hesh is an octopus god? It's not ever super clear. Okay, well, it looks like we're going to be getting into a thing here. Fleed is a really good name for an alien bug monster. He's going to gain 4 defense at the end of each of his turns. That's going to be really annoying to get through. You probably want to focus this guy down quickly. And then you gain 3 power when you fall below 22 health. Okay. There's a lot of damage coming out here. So the bug's going to hit me for 3... And what is this? Goon Perry is going to buff us in some way? Okay. Let's start with Bedlam. We're going to go super hard on this bug. Oh, that's right. It attacks a random target. We'll go super hard on whoever this hits. Do I want to hold on to my feint? You know what? I'm not going to play Elbow Strike pretty much no matter what. Let's discard that. Okay, wrong target, but I guess we can direct our attention this way. So let's go for Sal's daggers, get our saber grip, apply some bleeds. So she'll take 2 damage at the beginning of her turn, and then the stack will cut in half, and she'll take another one the turn after. And do I want to feint, or do I just want to shank her? She'll gain 3 power when she's below 22 health. The bleed happens at the beginning of the turn. So if we stab her, it's possible she'll gain 3 power. I think I'd rather just feint off this damage. We'll try to take her from here to her surrender threshold on the next turn. See if we can get lucky. Ooh, that's not good. Our damage has been reduced. Well, I suppose the good news is that they don't really seem to be doing a lot of damage this turn. So she'll panic after receiving 15 more damage. He's going to hit her for 9. So could we reasonably get 6 damage in? No, we really can't. Okay, this turn where we're all screwed up here, this seems like a fine time to burn this Tipsy. And then... I don't even really care about fainting on him. I guess let's just put some damage on her. I mean, like, it's not going to be good damage, but... Okay, she is all revved up. Good news is she will not be able to use it. Alright, what do we got from Fight Dirty? Trip allows us to apply 2 wound, which makes attacks deal bonus damage against the target. I'm going to take that. We're going to use that on the bug. So we could knock her out with an elbow strike. I'll do this over the stab just to make absolutely sure we get the damage. Alright, so she's panicking. Don't have to worry about her. And then wound the bug and give him a stab. That 4 points of shielding every turn is actually very annoying. I'm a little worried about Bedlam. I guess it doesn't do enough damage to kill Lux, so I suppose it'll be fine. We'll discard the Feint that doesn't have any XP. Good, it hit the right target. So you need 5 more damage. We're actually pretty much done with you. Let's definitely play Haymaker because I want to make sure we get XP on that. And then, yeah, we'll stab as well. Okay, so we could accept Lux's surrender. We also could just kill her. Obviously, after we beat her up, she's going to have some strong negative feelings towards us, and that could end up coming back to bite us. If we kill her, it's possible that somebody else who likes her will have even stronger feelings toward us. I guess let's just accept her surrender. We don't really know what the repercussions for killing her would be. Okay, so winning a fight gives you a little bit of resolve back, and we get a cool battle card. Gain 2 defense per combo, and then regain your spent combo on the next turn. That's actually really cool. This applies to cripple. It does an okay amount of damage for 2 actions, and whenever you apply bleed, also apply bleed to all the other enemies. I think we're gonna take shoulder roll. This is a card I've never seen before. Lux set us up. I knew I should have never trusted a spree. Still, you did the job, and I can't afford to burn any more bridges, so you'll still get paid. Yeah, that's good thinking there. Okay, and we get to upgrade a card. What do we want to upgrade the most? I would love to throw an upgrade on one of these combo-related cards. Regain your spent combo plus 2 next turn is pretty cool. We could also just upgrade, like, Haymaker. What does that do? Gives us 2 combo afterwards, so we can keep it rolling, or just has more base damage. Those are less compelling. What does Bedlam do if you upgrade it? You get to choose between draw a card, then discard a card, or Bedlam just doing 11 damage. Hard to argue with that, actually, and it takes a long time to level Bedlam up the normal way. I think let's do that. Very powerful. This is also cool, though. This card is just very good. Let's take the 11 damage. I do love damage. I immediately regret doing that. If we're trying to get our combo thing going, making sure we get combo point builders and combo point enders in our hand at the same time really is going to require as much draw as possible. Oops. That was ill-considered a little bit. Okay, so sometimes you get these orange nodes that pop up. When you do yellow node stuff, time advances, the orange nodes are like quick little things that don't cause any time to pass. So let's... Topo would give us a spark shot, or we could go to where a recent fight took place. Maybe there's still some treasure to be found. Yeah, okay, I'm into that. And we have a random encounter on the way. Hey, you want to buy a Vrock? Real cheap, just don't ask where it came from. What's a Vrock? A vicious 4-legged omnivore, uses an attack animal. Oh, okay, yeah, I do want one of those. But don't ask where it came from, or if it's healthy, or if it's trained. But it's yours if you have the shills. How many shills? 100 shills. Untrained pets help you in combat, but are a disadvantage in negotiations. I have had a pet on a previous run, but it was not a Vrock. Let's just beat him in a negotiation. We'll convince him to hand it over. He has plus 10 resolve from not wanting to give up something that's worth something for free. Yeah, something tells me that Vrock is more trouble than you bargained for. Why not just hand it over? Okay, we drew our solid point. So gains 2 composure whenever a new argument is created, and he's going straight for that point of influence that we got. Well, we probably ought to start with our fast talk then. And then we'll do a little quick thinking. That was kind of dumb. I should have done quick thinking first, in case we pulled the vulnerability thing. Well, we could still do it. The vulnerability will still be active next turn, so we could get some play out of it. And then we'll just perform a little deflection on our influence here. Alright, what have you done? Diplomacy cards deal -1 damage. Interesting. Well... Alright, so he's attacking our influence. We could use intrigue, right? We could use inspiration to generate another couple of points of influence and then burn some of them with intrigue. I think that's reasonable. Here's the question. Do we want to try to destroy this thing first? I think the answer is probably yes. He has enough health to get through that this is going to be a major impediment. So let's just go here. We'll play a fast talk. So the when this thing takes the damage, enough damage to kill it, it will kill all of the stacks. So there's no sense in having those 3 just sit there. Let's get our bonus damage. That was pretty good. He's going to get the rest of our influence. He's going to overflow 1 damage back onto us, which is not a big deal. I gotta say, he is not exactly a terrifying opponent. Alright, always quick thinking. Forever quick thinking. We no longer have any influence, so observation is only okay instead of very good. We could just pass an action over to next turn. I do think our cards this turn are kind of crummy. You know what? Let's do that. And then we'll just, we'll take it kind of easy. Maybe we throw intrigue out and do a deflection. Or does it make more sense to fast talk? No, it doesn't. If we're ever going to do something, we threaten. So threaten versus don't take 3 damage. Let's go for the threaten. Let's try to get this over with. Okay, that was pretty lucky. So tired. This is destroyed. Wow, Yibbit takes loses 12 resolve. That's very powerful. And we got some influence. So how do we want to do this? I mean, it's got to be just play Sal's influence, get this because it does damage. And I mean, more stacks of influence are not a bad thing. Hit you with this. And then we may as well deflect. There's pretty good odds we're going to be able to get him next turn either way. Like, this 3 damage isn't super likely to matter. I'm just going to go ahead and deflect some of that. Oh, I miscounted somewhere. We can do both. Well, then I think he's really screwed next turn. Alright, may as well play quick thinking before we finish the battle, just to make sure it gets the experience. Alright, free pet. So, 0 cost, 0 to 3 damage, but you lose 1 influence after you play it. This is not part of the cost. We can play this even if we don't have any influence. It's okay. It's not a bad card. Draw an extra card at the start of your turn. When something says gain like this is a thing that we gain for the rest of the encounter, and there's no way to defeat it, I believe. So this is just very good. Or setup. Gain 2 influence, but then at the end of your turn, lose 2 influence. I'm not wild about that. It's interesting with like that card that lets us spend influence to deal bonus damage, because we could cash out that influence and effectively lose nothing. I kind of like the 0 cost card. I like just the doing more damage is good. Yeah, let's take that. We're certainly not short of influence generators. It must be giving you a lot of hassle. I mean, is this really worth your time? No, it's a menace. Honestly, you'd be doing me a favor. You fool. You are a fool to admit this. Yibbit kicks the covered cage to jostle the Vrock, then wrestles it into a lead. When he returns, both Yibbit and the Vrock are looking sour. There you go, 1 mongrel while he spit. That's how angry he is. The Vrock looks at you quizzically, then pees. Yibbit shuffles uncomfortably as the puddle spreads toward his boots. Look at him, he's adorable. Well, enjoy, I guess. You wonder if this is a good idea. Wilson the Vrock. How could this not be a good idea? Look at that beak. And there's a desolate battlefield. Let's check it out. You come across the signs of a recent battle. If there were any winners, they weren't the type to loot the battlefield. The bodies are still fresh. Best to grab something and run before any beasts are drawn to the bloodshed. You get a tincture, which is fine. Boy, that's not even great. That really is just barely fine. Search the crates for a Vrock whistle. I don't know if we want to bring 2 Vrock together. It seems maybe dangerous. Or pull a Kludger out of the mud. At the start of each turn, steal up to 4 composure from an enemy target. That seems really good, actually. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a graft. You wrestle with the loot lodged in the mud even as a mournful howl cuts through the air. It isn't long before you're joined by the pack. Well, I guess let's defend ourselves. So a yote was the thing I had as a pet earlier. Alright, so he's got his evasion, which is pretty cool. He is going to evade a pretty huge attack, actually. And let's just try to burn through this thing as fast as possible. So what do we want to... Okay, it looks to me like what we want to do here is play this, actually get the combo points, and then boosted Bedlam, let this tell us what direction to attack in. I'm going to just drop the feint. Okay, that's what I was hoping you would say. So he'll panic after receiving 4 more damage. That's a little unfortunate. Oh, actually, no, never mind. Our Vrock is going to hit him for 3. So we'll set him up with this. And then we'll throw a Haymaker at the other guy to start things off. Look at that, we're cashing in our combo successfully already. Alright, so that's all the damage that would have hit us, and the evasion eats the rest of it. That was a very successful turn. Okay, who doesn't love to fight dirty? We actually have a use for these combo points now. Throw a little mud on him. Gain 2 defense per combo, and then pass the combo over to your next turn. It's that second part that makes it really cool. Because, like, one of the major problems that I imagine with the combo deck is the difficulty of having the combo points at the actual right time. And I think I'm willing to take 1 damage here in order to conclude this fight a little bit sooner. Now we are definitely going to get there on this turn. So he gave us Acidic Slime. Every turn, 2 random cards in your hand cost 1 more until played. And we get to cash in our Haymaker here. So what do we want to do? If we hit him with anything, he's going to retreat. So the only way to get XP on more than 1 card is to play this really bad, inefficient feint, and then do the Haymaker. You know, feint's not a great card. Alright, winning a battle gets you some resolve, and then... discard, yeah, another Bedlam would be totally fine. Gain 3 defense, but if you discard this card, gain 3 defense and heal 4. There are not a lot of sources of healing in the game, actually, so this seems powerful if you have some discard stuff going. And we do. We at the very least have the Bedlam. This applies some bleed. I'm going to take the Seeker. Maybe this is a little bit... maybe I'm being a little overly optimistic about how easy that will be to pull off. The bodies are growing ripe, and more scavengers are sure to be on their way. Best to cut while you're ahead. Fair enough. I do think we came out way ahead on that. So, we could take on another one of the quests here. 85 shills versus 50 shills and a hip flask. Honestly, I kind of would rather have the shills. Not that I think the shills are great, but the hip flask is definitely not great. Alright. Oh, Perry's here, and Perry likes us, so that might be good. That might work out well for us. Ooh. Few folks survive the rigorous training needed to become Luminari. Ionis wears it like a halo of sunshine. Huh. That's a whole weird thing. He's a Cult of Hesh Luminari. That's a new one on me. Alright, let's just talk to Koki. The Heshians say good food brings you closer to the divine. Koki could be a priest. Fancy a drink or maybe a meal? How about a job? Where did you need some help? One of those spree types was sniffing around my shop yesterday. Really casing the joint, you know? I got my guard to chase him out, but they said they'd be back today, with friends. And you believed them? Why would they warn you if that was a thing they were really going to do? I need help defending my livelihood. Alright, I guess I'll hang out. Gain 1 counter and 2 defense for each card played this turn. So it's probably most of the time it's going to be 2 points of counter and 4 defense. It's better than a feint, right? Improvise an attack card from your draw pile. Your next attack card played this turn deals 3 damage. That's pretty cool, actually. And it'll make it so much easier for us to find the pieces we need to get our combo thing going. I actually think this is almost certainly the right play. Although Exertion is also very cool. I think let's take the Deception. Before the spree arrives, you probably want to check in with Faporo. I'm not sure what they said to her yesterday, but she's been acting strange ever since. Okay, let's negotiate for a better deal. Now, the untrained pet is going to be a little bit of a hassle here, like knocking over tables and stuff while we're trying to have a grown-up conversation. But Perry's drinking, he'll help us out. We should be okay. We'll figure it out. So what has Perry done here? Ah, Perry put up a wealth extractor. I guess that fits his character, doesn't it? And the untrained Vrock is going to deal 5 resolve damage to us every turn. He's really messing things up. Alright, that's very fixable. Let's play Sal's Instincts. Get ourselves some inspiration. Deal 1 damage to a random target whenever you play a Manipulate card. Ooh, that's interesting. So Manipulate cards are the purple ones. Let's go ahead and do this. We can knock out the Untrained Vrock. We can get him under control with a little bit of inspiration and get ourselves some influence at the same time. And then... do we want to play a full value Plead? I think we want to play the full value Intrigue way more. Let's do that on this thing. Right, we can get the Wealth Extractor at any time. And then we could just go for this and hope. Maybe we roll maximum damage and get this thing out of the way, or we could play Quick Thinking. Or actually, we do both, sorry. We play Quick Thinking first so that we know what we're looking at. Yeah, play Observation. We take a damage from the Chaser, but then between these 2 cards, we're pretty likely to be able to get there. Okay, we got the big one on the first turn. That's pretty valuable. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, we drew a solid point. Targets an opponent argument each turn for 3 resolve. When you deploy a new argument, increase this argument's damage and resolve by 2. Oh, I hate that. And we don't have enough damage to get out of the fight this turn. Okay. What we could... we are going to take a lot of damage here. Crap. Okay, what we could do is just play double Fast Talk on Wealth Extractor. So we'll get that knocked out, and we'll get a little bit of overflow damage onto him. And then play a Deflection. It's going to cause 1 point of damage to us, so it's only actually 2 points of shielding, but we don't have a better thing to do with this action. Yeah, this is going to hurt, though. Hopefully we can get through the 8 damage on this turn. I would really love to be done with this. This argument is dismissed. You draw 2 cards and gain 2 actions. Wow, that's really powerful. So, we already have a point of influence. If we gain 2 influence, I could get a full value Intrigue off. But we could also just play Dominance to make Threaten a little bit more useful. Let's take the influence for now. Alright, so we want to Fast Talk. I guess let's use the one that isn't upgrading already. Fast Talk this argument out. It'll give us some cards and actions to play with. Okay, we gotta find 8 damage in here. We're good, actually. We totally have them. We should not mess around trying to get any more money. We should just get out of here. Oh, you know what? I had 1 more action left. I should have played another card. Alright, so we managed to level up a Fast Talk. Let's see what our choices are. Gain 1 influence, or... ooh. I think we're going to take Clarity Fast Talk. So a nice big burst of damage, and then a very basic card that doesn't play into any of our mechanics is out of our deck. do love a little bit of deck thinning. Okay, another copy of Intrigue. Gain 1 composure for every additional card you've played this turn. You'd have to have a pretty impressive combo deck going for this to be reliably better than Deflect. And Deflect is already, like, not very good. Or Incept to Doubt. This effect is added to your opponent's arguments, targets a friendly argument each turn for 1 damage. That's interesting. Let's take this. I'm curious about the efficacy of that one. Alright, 81 extra shills if we finish the job, and we robbed him for 30 during the fight. Alright, hold on a second. Let me talk to Vaporeau. Sometimes, when you stare into the void, Vaporeau stares back. Wow. Well met, Traveler. We are not in a great place as far as resolve health goes, so maybe this is not a good idea. Actually, can we get a drink, maybe? Can I buy... Ooh, I could give you 100 shills and you give me +5 max health. That's not super compelling. Nobody else is drinking. There's a curl to Winnie's lip that might suggest a sense of humor buried deep down inside. Or maybe just a bad smell. Yeah, we can't buy anybody drinks, unfortunately. Nobody has the little drink icon over their head. And we can't just buy a drink from Koki, so I guess we're ready. I don't think that the negotiation is worth the risk. Well, you know, again, you can't lose, you can't die from a lost negotiation. I guess let's go for it. So, how about those bandits, huh? Oh, don't you start on me too. A job is a job, but I didn't sign up to get myself killed. Give me 1 good reason not to bail on this gig. I'll give you 20 good reasons. I do kind of wish he was doing stuff that was a little bit more relevant to the actual battle. So we got to make sure that we get rid of the Vrock. Let's play Seeds of Doubt first. Targets a friendly argument each turn for 1 to 2 damage. It just sits there and chips away at you. I guess that's actually a pretty good mechanical conception of Doubt. And then we play Threaten and really hope not to roll a single point of damage. Yeah, that really sucks. Then we play Plead and really hope that it does anything at all. Okay, great. And then we should probably Deflect, because I'm very worried about our health. There's that planted evidence. That was a really good time for solid point, actually. Let's use our Clarity Fast Talk right away. Let's just blow this up. We don't have to worry about it anymore. And then, unfortunately, Vaporeau is still directly attacking the planted evidence. Well, all we really have here is damage. Let's try some quick thinking. We could feed 3 composure to it, or 3 composure to ourselves, or we could just take the observation. You know what? Let's just take the observation. We have some influence. Let's just, like, really go hard rush down on the damage here. Oh, I'm out of actions. Okay. We should be able to wrap this up next turn. We're going to take a pretty serious hit here, but... Actually, the order of this is really awkward, because she's gaining shield, and then the Doubt is just barely removing it, and then because she doesn't have any shield, we don't steal any shield with our Kludger. That kind of sucks. Also, we did not draw any damage here. Let's improvise. Observation gets us there, right? Yeah, because we're gonna... 4 damage here, and then we can guarantee a kill with Threaten off of Sal's Instincts. Get the dominance. I suppose just taking the influence card and having it deal 2 damage also would have worked. Alright, Vaporeau, hey, how about you do your job? Ooh. Target argument loses 2 resolve and you gain 2 resolve. There are so few things that heal you, I think we'd be very foolish not to take this. Subtlety's not bad either. 3 damage and 2 cards for 1 action. But there are so few things that heal you in the game. Alright, I'll stay. But if I get killed, I'm coming back to haunt you. Listen, if you get killed, I'm probably also getting killed, so... I guess you can take some solace in that. Alright, let's do it. Alright, you hide under the counter here. When I give the word, come out stabbing. This is well within my skill set. You wedge yourself under the counter, and Koki pulls a sheet over you. It's completely dark. You can't see a thing. Time passes. You hear customers come and go, the wheels of commerce spinning above your head. Just as your leg is starting to cramp, you hear something loud and angry come through the door. It's probably just our Vrock. Did you miss me? You shouldn't be here. I told you to stay away. Aw, see what I mean, guys? This shopkeeper is incorrigible. Looks like we're gonna have to teach him a lesson. Yeah, well, I've got a lesson for you. Koki kicks you under the counter. This would be your cue. I think we should probably do the job. Like, my health is okay. We can fight. You come out from behind the counter. Oh, look, he bought himself a bodyguard. Cute. Scram, Grifter, will gut you where you stand. That seems unlikely to me. I think we probably have this. I'm not going anywhere. Well then, it's your funeral. Look at this. Look at this big impressive party we've put together. So, he's going to take 9 piercing damage from Koki shooting him. Okay, Koki, yeah, has a gun. Needs ammo. First time he takes damage each turn, he gains 1 defense. That's pretty cool. You gain 3 power after an attack damages a target, like every time an attack damages a target? That seems awfully good. Doesn't it feel like everybody's more powerful than I am? I kind of want to play Deception here, even though it's not really appropriate, just because I want to start getting XP built up on it. Let's play this, grab Boosted Bedlam. We could grab the Haymaker, even though we're not going to be able to get any damage out of it, just to get the XP. But no, we'll take Boosted Bedlam. We'll play that for 14 damage against a random target, drop one of the feints. Okay, well that was easy enough. How much damage do you have to take to run? I would really love it if we could redirect the 9 damage over to the thief, so let's try to take this thing down ourselves. Okay, good enough. Yes, that was a very impressive lifting of your hammer. Seriously, did that attack do anything at all? Okay, it looks like she's well under control. So I guess let's go ahead and throw some attacks in here just to get XP on the cards. I don't know if elbow strikes are the most important cards to get experience on. There's a pretty good chance we're going to drop some of these. Let's at least try to level up the feint. Alright, y'all, have at her. Okay, she surrenders, and we have to consider whether we would like to execute her. I mean, who's gonna miss her, right? Nah, I suppose let's take the surrender. Ooh, 10 resolve for winning the battle. Very happy to see that. It definitely seems to be that you get more resolve when your resolve is lower, so I'm assuming it restores a percentage of what you're missing. Apply 2 bleed whenever you hit a target with an attack for the rest of the turn. Is pretty whatever. Discard 2 cards. Gain 1 power for each card. Oh, until the end of the turn, though. That's less good. Although, we do have cards that like to be discarded. We might take that. Because, like, Lacerate's not super great for our strategy. There is definitely a bleed deck you can build, but we're not really doing that. Let's take the Scatter. I think it's take Scatter instead of take nothing. Good job, Grifter. Take this. You earned every coin. I sure did. And now Koki likes us. Could we... Yes, we could get Mixology. Restores an additional 2 resolve when drinking. Probably not worth all that money. Okay, it is night, so we could get some combat gauze from Perry, or we could go and meditate to gain some resolve. I think let's just get... I don't even know what combat gauze is, and unfortunately we can't mouse over that. But since I don't know what it is, let's go get it. Let's find out. Hey Perry, how you doing? I have something for you if you want it. Remove a random debuff, destroy after 3 uses, and okay, when this card is drawn, you draw another card, so you're not even actually like ruining your draws by having it in your deck. Yeah, that seems fine. Fine, not great. I still don't think I want to give you 100 shills. Alright, Fish has a special job for us. Sal, I've lined up a great opportunity for you. Those two over there are night merchants. They sell rare goods you can't get nowhere else, and it just so happens they need your help. Now, you can only be in one place at a time, but either will get you a leg up you sorely need, kid. Go tell them I sent you and ingratiate yourself. Just be warned, they're both persnickety so-and-sos. You're probably gonna cheese off the one you don't pick. You know, Fish, you got kinda weird diction. Okay, that sounds neat. Thanks, Fish. So, we're picking between Endo and Plaka the Swab here. And to be honest with you, I'm not very pleased with this choice. I know what they both do, and I like them both, and unfortunately we are going to upset one of them here. Let's go with Endo. Though he doesn't look frail, his hands have a slight tremor when he prays. What brings you back? I'm a friend of Fish's. How can I help? Fish tells me you're pretty good with a blade. I get by. Sounds like you need something stabbed. Is it something with 4 legs or 2? Yes. Let's just call it an infestation, and it's getting in the way of my good deeds. I'm a little worried about how he avoided the answer to that question. I'll get you there, and you flesh or steel or whatever it is hunters do. Agreed? Sure, I could do that. Plus you made it sound so exciting. You're the thrill seeker, and I'm the client. Let's go. I do understand our relationship, thank you. And Plaka's gonna be mad at us. It's not great to have Plaka be mad at us, but Endo provides a very valuable service. Endo leads you to the cave, which ruminates with a stink you can't quite place. Here it is. So what now? You want me to... Oh, hesh! Wow, what is that? At least the monster's got respect for your time. I am not familiar with the Krill. Okay, that's a little worrying. What is his deal? Gain 1 power whenever it's attacked. Oh, that's super annoying. That's a really annoying trait. Okay, so our allies are going to attack it twice after our turn, but before its turn. So we have to remember those damage values are... He's not actually going to just do 2 to us. I definitely want to play the stab because it levels up. And then, do we double feint? No, I think I'll do 1 feint and 1 haymaker. We'll absorb a little bit of damage. But, like, we do have to kill the thing, right? Pretty disappointed that I hit him for 1, though. Okay, we are not having a lot of luck lining up our cards. Ooh, we should definitely use Deception to try to find Bedlam. And we found it. Deception's a great card. I'm all the way come around on it. So, 15 damage. We will discard Seeker. Heals us for 4. That's wonderful. And then, do we want to throw out an Elbow Strike here just to make sure this card levels up? Yeah, sure. The average damage difference between an Elbow Strike and a stab is not very large. Oh, he just hit our Vrock so hard it ran off. That is a real shame. But we should have him pretty easily here. So we just want to do damage, whatever kind of damage we can get done. This one actually caused him to surrender. We can go ahead and... should probably have done this first. Do this, we'll discard a couple of cards, just making sure we get our XP. Okay, we beat the thing, but it got rid of my pet, which I'm actually very annoyed about. Got some of our resolve back, and we upgraded 2 cards. Let's see what we get. Ooh, Finishing Strike, or slightly higher damage and expend. I actually really like Finishing Strike here. And what do we get out of Stab? Apply a wound or apply 2 bleed? I like apply a wound. I don't think either of those are amazing. And then Blade Fury. Repeat this attack once per combo. That's actually pretty interesting. We maybe need to start focusing on getting combo points. With this, we probably have enough finisher type moves. Hessian Heshspit. Enough. The god of salt didn't slither forth so you could squander its holy name. So it slithers. Maybe it's not an octopus. All the same, you've done what I asked, and I'm grateful. Market awaits. Let's be off. I am pretty eager to go to the market. We have a fair amount of money built up here. This is it, huh? Pretty modest. Well, it doesn't exist for the decor, friend, but the goods are top-notch, duty-free, law-free, the best of the best. And now you're welcome to do your shopping. Thanks, Sal. Fish was right. You do good work. Alright, get a discount at Endo's shop, which is nice because Endo sells peace of mind, by which I mean removing cards from your deck. It's one of my favorite things. We definitely have some negotiation cards that we can afford to drop. So, we could just kill the Threaten. We could throw away one of the deflections. I feel like I don't really want to use deflection very often. Yeah, let's burn the deflection. The one that doesn't have any XP yet. And then we can also buy cards from Hesh. What do we got here? Card of the next, or the damage of the next card played is doubled. Another solid point. Spend 2 dominance to gain 2 actions. Wow, that is actually really powerful. If you can get there. Whenever you play a hostile card, draw a card. Whenever you play a diplomacy card, gain a composure. These both seem really good. As does this. We don't have a lot of sources of dominance right now, but we could buy both of these and just start tilting the deck red as hard as possible. It's not very good for it right now, but maybe we could get there. I kind of like this seems like a big deal. Let's have a look at what the other merchants have. So Plaka, the swab, who we upset and now have to pay extra at the shop of, is tuning up one of her black market grafts. Keep telling you, these grafts are made for someone of your talents. So, a recycler, the first time you expend a card each turn, draw a card. Wow, that's actually really good. And your first attack each combat deals an extra +2 bleed. That's fine. So this would be 300 shills? That seems really strong. We expend a card most turns. Well, maybe not most turns. It's a lot of money, though. Alright, what about Rake? There's a rough combat ring scratched into the sand. Rake stands guard over it, scrutinizing your approach. You look tough for a Lumen worker. Don't let the stains fool you. I didn't work Lumen for long. Yeah? Then you're probably big on self-improvement. Train with me, and I'll teach you how to fight Havarian style. They don't call it Murder Bay for nothing. You know what? Let's go ahead and remove another card. So what do we want to drop here? We could probably drop the Elbow Strike that's never going to get leveled up. Yeah. So basically, cards that are not part of any of our gimmicks need to go. And then what do you have? You have a bunch of combo spenders, but nothing that generates combo. Ooh, apply a stun. That is actually pretty powerful. And whenever you apply bleed, heal 1. Ooh, that's also pretty powerful. We don't really have the deck for this, but that's a cool effect. That said, like, Carve is a fine card. 3 to 4 damage for 1 action is totally okay. I am maybe actually going to buy Carve. But what if we wanted to buy the cards from Hesh? Hold on. How much were, or Endo, rather. How much were we talking about there? Would be 225 in total. We could afford to buy all 3 of the cards we're looking at here. It'll leave us with no money for tomorrow, but yeah, let's do it. Buy that and this. Why accumulate the money if you're not willing to use it, right? Yeah, I think Carve's pretty good. We definitely need more sources of combo generation, though. Well, your friend Perry is in trouble, or Topo might give us a vial of slurry. I feel like it would be very crappy of us to go do this while we know this node exists. You find Perry under Yibbit's heel, looking one blow away from the worst day of their lives. Well, I don't think we should wait and see what happens. You make enough of a racket to draw Yibbit's attention, and Perry looks up at you with wide eyes. Sal? This has nothing to do with you, Hunter. Stay out of it. I disagree. We could probably convince Yibbit to back down. We have 24 resolve now. And we no longer have the combat advantage of the pet. Yeah, let's go for the resolve thing. Okay, so gains composure when an argument is created. That may well work in our favor. Let's just do some stuff here. We're definitely going to play Drain Resolve every single time we draw it. And then, it's like Domineer versus Threaten. The average damage on Domineer is slightly higher, but I think I want to level up this Threaten if we can. And hey, we got lucky. Now, once again, this awkward interaction. Okay, so do we just want to play the Bulldoze? This is bringing down our diplomacy cards. That's taking 1 to 2 damage from this thing. I kind of want to just play the Bulldoze. Like, let's just get set up for this, right? Oh, it triggers off of itself. That's really nice. And then some quick thinking. Now, that's a disappointment. I guess we'll take some composure and just protect our influence for now. Okay, we did get to steal 1 resolve from him. This thing has 4 more health. I think I'm gonna play this as Dominance, because playing Dominance will draw us a card. Okay, draw a solid point, which gets upgraded. That's cool. And then we have exactly 2 influence, which is a little awkward because we don't actually have a choice here. Like if we play this card, it will use the influence. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. Okay, pretty straightforward. I'm excited to see what the solid point is going to become. Oh, he's so tired. Well, if we can get 4 damage onto that thing, we win. So let's try to do that. I definitely want to make sure we're playing stuff that needs to get leveled up. We should play Seeds of Doubt, and then Domineer will actually finish it. Just make sure we're getting XP on Seeds of Doubt. So we leveled up a bunch of stuff here. First of all, I like the upgraded special cards. Obviously, improved selection leads to you getting the thing you're looking for more often, but I'd rather have a choice from a bunch of better things. For Sal's Instincts, we can level up to... Okay, so this gives us Flatter, Compliment, or Attitude. Spend 1 influence to deal 2 bonus damage and hit all opposing arguments. That does seem powerful. Or gain 2 influence, then deal damage equal to half your influence to a random argument. And Hostile Instincts is kind of the opposite, where you get more red cards. Honestly, like, Mean is pretty good. Obtuse is pretty good. I think we're gonna lean on the red side. And the card is now red instead of purple, so it'll be 2 red cards. Like if we have Bulldoze down already, that's incredible. When this card is drawn, deal 1 damage to a random target and gain 2 influence, or deal 3 damage to a random target and gain 1 influence. We do have some effects that would like us to have 2 influence in play, but probably the extra damage, right? And then Threaten upgrades to Boosted Threaten, or... Ooh. The expected damage of Mirrored Threaten is very slightly lower than Boosted Threaten, but I like Play the red card twice. I'm assuming that will trigger Bulldoze twice. And it'll get more damage out of Dominance, because each copy will get the Dominance bonus and stuff. That seems really good. Okay, what do we want here? Remove 1 of your arguments, inceptions, or bounties, and gain 2 actions. Well, that is compelling. Actions are so often the limiting factor. But we don't... Well, it'll allow us to remove, like, it'll allow us to remove, like, influence or dominance. I think we should take this. I think that's pretty good for us at this point. You step off now and be content with the beating you gave him. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to kill you. Fine. But remember this, Perry. Remember, I would have killed you without a second thought. That's not a thing you should say to a person. Because, like, now, how is Perry supposed to do anything other than spend all of his time plotting your demise? Yibbit stalks off into the shadows as you help Perry to his feet. Thanks, Sal. You actually saved my skin there. Yeah, it's the least I could do. Come on, let's get you somewhere safe. You take Perry to shelter, and after dressing his wounds, get back on the road. And so, now he loves us, we get the +5 max health, which is pretty handy. Let's return to the Grogan Dog and see if Fish has found any leads for us. Kashio's got to be somewhere around here. Oh hey, it turns out it's late when you get back to the Grogan Dog, but you can spot trouble before you even step onto its porch. You slip quietly behind an overturned table before anyone notices, or so you think. Kashio's hand grabs you by the collar, yanking you out into the weak lumen light of the bar. Ugh. She kicks you hard in the ribs, but you manage to keep your breath. You're gonna need it. Stay down. Go down quiet, Hunter. I promise it'll be just like going to sleep. Look at the size of this dude. Vo's the bouncer. Yeah. Hey, Vo, maybe you could do your job here? He's afraid of Kashio, so he'll have some bonus resolve here. But we'll get a little bit of an assist from Fish. We can probably get this done. Vo, you're the bouncer. Yeah, I'm hired to keep ruffians out. Kashio's a class of her own. Okay, so Fish provides us with a point of influence, and you gain composure equal to the unmitigated damage you deal, which probably isn't a big deal, because we're going to just steal a lot of it with the Kludger. I gotta tell you, playing Bulldoze immediately seems pretty good. Okay, the card we drew was Strong Point, which is pretty awesome. And then we probably just drain Resolve, right? Like every single time we can do that. And I actually like letting him deal 4 damage here. He deals 4 damage, he gets the shielding, and then we steal the shielding. Unfortunately, he got to spread the shielding over his 2 things. So intense and target previews are hidden. Well, that's very annoying. I don't like that at all. Let's see if we can do something about that. So we could use Reconsider to, like, bounce the influence out since we don't have a green card available to us. Gain some actions. We might be able to do a lot of damage this turn. Ooh, I'm not super excited about these cards. I guess let's take the draw 3 since we think we might have a lot of actions available. Okay, I do like seeing Hostile Instincts. So probably what we want to do here is Reconsider the influence. Go back up to 3 actions. Hostile Instincts for gain 2 dominance. Play that. We're drawing cards like crazy, which is awesome. Play a Mirrored Threaten on this? Or do we just go to the dome and ignore the effects? Maybe we do, because we have a lot of damage available here. Yeah, actually I kind of like that. So that was great. Then we play Domineer. Spend our influence to get even more actions. I love the thing that is happening right now. May as well play Promoted Thinking. You could give him a damage reduction for a couple of turns. Ooh, Improved Carryover gives you 2 bonus actions on the next turn. That's very hard to pass up. And then we just Incept some doubt, right? And we may as well throw this out, see if we can get some damage. We sure did. That was a very productive turn. We get to steal his thing, we get to deal 3 damage to him for free. This has worked out, like, splendidly. We don't really have any use for the dominance, so here I think we just take Mean. Let's play Seeds of Doubt again. I mean, like, let's play a bunch of stuff to get XP on cards, right? We can reconsider... Actually, I don't really want to I guess we could reconsider the Bulldoze. Just trying to get stuff out. Promoted thinking. Well, promoted thinking doesn't have an XP bar anymore. So we'll just do deflect and then fast talk. Promoted thinking might draw us cards. It doesn't. Okay, fast talk. Alright, that was harder than it should have been, just convincing this guy to do his job. So what do we want? Ooh, I like a zero-cost red card. Actually, I like a zero-cost red card a lot. Very good for our deck. You gonna make me do your job for you? No, I guess not. Alright. Vo steps up to your side, ready to defend the Grogan Dog. Better late than never. Alright, let's... Wow, that's a hell of a cannon. This is self-defense, is what it said above the battle. Okay, I like where we're starting here. So do we want a deception? We do have a combo spender. Here's what we'll do. We'll play deception. It doesn't really matter what we get here. Right, because I think this is the combo spender I want to use. So we're just playing this to get the damage bonus. Then we'll do Sal's Dagger to add combo, and then Finishing Strike. Because right now, Blade Fury is not a lot of damage. Yeah, I think this is right. So it doesn't matter what we take, because we're not actually going to use it. Hammer Grip, nice and hard. I should actually read his stuff. Gain 1 power at the start of battle, which, okay, he has done. And then that's only 7 damage. Like, it's actually just better to play Boosted Bedlam. It's a very good card, you know? Okay, our ally healed us there. That's a big grenade he just threw at us. So he's just going to buff himself. This would be a good turn to go, like, really hard. So let's scatter this card, and also low XP feint to give us 2 power, gives a little bit of bonus damage. And then sadly we don't actually have another play here. Oh, just make sure we're getting that XP. And yeah, we have some combo finishers, but no combo generators. A real shame. He's still just, it looks like he's just charging up his gun. He did gain 3 points of counter, which I'm not wild about. Alright, let's play feint before we attack then. Do I want to hit him for 1 to 3 damage and let him hit me? Or, I mean, like, the feint won't do anything though. We know he's not attacking. Let's just hit him. Yeah, we got a tiny bit of damage in there. Oh, our dude's attack is actually 3 small attacks, so it triggers the counter a bunch of times. That sucks. Okay, I'm not too excited about this nonsense. He's gonna shoot us for 19 with his huge arm gun. We have to get 47 more damage on him? Ugh. Alright, let's see if Fight Dirty can provide us... Yep, combo. That's exactly what I wanted. Alright, so I think we want to throw out Carve. This is going to increase damage dealt by each attack that hits the boss. Since our ally is doing a bunch of small attacks, that's pretty powerful. And then we throw out a Stab of our own. And then we take a huge amount of damage. We're getting pretty close, though. How much more do we have to do to him? 21 before he freaks out? We can get a lot of that this turn. So we're not going to end up with any combo. Let's take Stab of the Deep. Obviously, we boost some Bedlam. And then we just give him the Stab of the Deep. He's actually already in surrender mode. So that being the case, we should play a card that still needs XP. Okay, do we execute this guy? I mean, everybody sees that this battle is self-defense, and do I really want this guy wandering around the wasteland hating me because I kicked his ass in front of a bunch of people? Honestly, I don't think so. It was self-defense, everybody saw it. So when you execute somebody, You do get a little bit of a reputation, and we'll see that reputation thing kick in. You also get to steal all their money, which is nice. And I think you usually get an extra card as a reward. So there are upsides and some downsides. Whenever you play a card, gain a defense. That's okay. Improvise a random common or uncommon maneuver. It costs 0 until played. Wow, it's really hard to know what the value of this is. Or gain 3 defense, but if you discard this card, instead gain 3 defense and 3 counter. We have enough card discarding that these are pretty okay. And like Thieves' Instinct is going to be so random. It's going to be so hard to predict what it'll do. Let's take Stringer. I like Stringer. And Negotiation card. Ooh, hard not to take the red card. Improvise a 0-cost card from your discard pile. That would be okay. Play once for each action available. So I'm assuming the X is the number of actions we have left? No, that would be pretty bad, right? If the card just did 1 to 2 damage for each action you have remaining. That's like terrible. Why doesn't it tell us what the X represents? I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, but that would mean the card is garbage, wouldn't it? I don't know. Empathy, retain any unused actions at the end of your turn, but it costs 2 actions to play, so that doesn't seem great. Let's take the Browbeat. We'll experiment with it a little bit. We could always remove it later if we have to. And then we get a Reputation card. So whenever you kill somebody, you get one of these yellow cards slid into your Negotiation deck. Gain 1 Dominance while it's in your hand. That is actually a pretty good card for us. And we get a Graft reward for defeating a boss. At the start of your turn, reduce the cost of a random card in your hand by 1 until played. That's pretty good. When installed, upgrade 3 random battle cards. That seems less good. Like a lot less good. Or gain 1 action at the start of your turn, but take 3 damage at the end of every turn. Wow. That is a dangerous bulb. I think we're going to go Quick Charger, but that's definitely interesting. 3 damage at the end of every turn is so dangerous, though. Let's take the Quick Charger. Well, that shucked a rotten oyster, but we've been through worse and we're both still standing. Not quite sure what to make of that phrase, huh? Now, what's done is done. Fire's only good if it stokes the engine, kid. That's actually like a really useful aphorism. I should have gone for Casio as soon as I arrived. Now you're dragged into it too. Oh, none of that. You got a bit of grit in your eye. You'll wink it out once you get some sleep. Okay, fish, calm down. I got a room set up for you in the back. Casio gone, the few patrons that remain return to their drinks. Them that weren't spilled, anyway. Okay, well, I think let's go ahead and take a rest, and that'll be a good natural place to stop the episode. Fish didn't get to the top of her field by indulging her wounds. She barely flinches as she spit-shines an old mug. I bet your blood's boiling, kid, but we survived the day. Cool your feet, get some rest. We'll come up with a plan in the morning. So we do have some money. We could try to buy some cards off of Fish. 10 heal for 55. You know, we're about to go back to full health and everything. Let's just save our money. We'll go rest. A good night's rest can't hurt, unless I wake up dead, that is. Casio won't come back on my watch. The back's barricaded, and the front has me. Yeah, you did such a good job the first time. Good night, kid. Fish leads you through a curtain behind the bar, nodding toward a cozy room at the back.
That night your dreams are full of Casio, gold-plated with iron teeth.
Again, voiceover weirdly quiet. Maybe I accidentally turned down the voice slider? I don't know. Alright, let's go to sleep. So, we get a nice refill here. We are loved by one person, kind of generally liked. Nobody actually hates us, so that's cool. It was a productive day. You can turn on fast mode in the options. Ooh, I might do that. You slept through the night with one hand gripping the knife under your pillow. But then, you've slept that way every night since you were 12. Okay, they're laying on that characterization a little bit thick. I think that's a good natural stopping point for what turned out to be a very long episode of this. We are going to go ahead and do the rest of this run, so there will be another episode maybe sometime this weekend, maybe as late as Monday. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back one of those days that I just said for the next day in our adventure in the Griftlands, and we'll see you then.